Good morning to all. Myself Nikhil Sone. Today I am going to present the video making activity of concrete technology. My topic will be non-destructive test on hardened concrete. As non-destructive test, the name suggests there is nothing destructive in this test. As we have studied in this destructive test, where the sample is broken and testing is done. But in this test, without breaking or taking the sample, inspection or assessment is done to know the strength and durability of that particular structure with the help of modern methods of non-destructive test. Non-destructive test we perform to obtain different parameters like compressive strain, durability, as well as its elastic behavior and many other properties. In and these properties are not obtained directly; they are determined from some prior properties like volume, density, and from that we estimate the different properties like durability, workability, strength, compressive strength, and different parameters. Of the that specimen. Then NDT method can be used at any stage of the product design, that is from starting or prior work to the end work or after the completion of the work as well as. So this helps in the quality assurance as well as the effectiveness of the structure, maintaining the effectiveness of the structure. Then some there are I sort out some situations where the NDT methods are found to be most suitable. That are if we have to determine the density or strength of the concrete structure, or if we have to find out the homogeneity of the concrete mixing, then we can use these methods. Then if we have to locate or determine the size of that reinforcing bars or number of that reinforcing bars, then we can use the entity method. Then to determine the location of the inbuilt wiring or piping that is done in the building, um, and that can be determined. Then internal defects in a building like cracks, even fine defects, fine flaws, cracks, bonding or weakness in the concrete structure can be determined through this method. And here are the images which I had shown. In these images, different entity methods are being used, and nowhere the structure is being harmed or damaged. They are used on the surface. All these three photos, it is been seen. Then advantages for the using NDT method is as it equipments are easy to handle because these are not very large equipments and which can be easily carried to the site. Then defects or voids, cracks, anything, stability of the specimen concrete can be determined without damaging the component, which is a unique one. And these methods are quicker and faster as involve use of advanced technology, and these are even very sensitive methods. Even fine flaws can be find out through this method, which cannot be find out by destructive methods. Then precise results we get as very accurate research has found that NDT test gives more precise results than the destructive test. And even only not only the structure, but even smaller portions of the structure can be addressed or estimate or can be examined through this test to know its stability. Then it's a safe, reliable, as well as cost effective method. Then here I had found some commonly adopted entity methods which are we seen nowadays. And these are firstly I will explain about the rebound hammer test. In a rebound hammer test, in this image it has been shown the rebound hammer, what actually it is. In it is seen that there is plunger at its front side. Then there is a spring to which mass is attached. Then there is a scale on that rebound hammer which measures the rebound number. And in this method, as we see that a concrete one plunger end is attached to is in contact with the concrete surface, and the other end is fail free. And it is pressed against or held against the concrete wall. And the spring get rebounds, and the amount and get rebounds, and that rebounds is measured in the form of rebound number. And as much as rebound increases, the rebound number as well as increases. And similarly the strength of concrete get increased. So amount of rebound, from that amount of rebound we can find what is the strength of that concrete specimen or surface. Main application is we can measure the hardness of the concrete through this method, as well as the how concrete is uniform, or what is quality or stability of that concrete. Then user expertise required to handle rebound hammer is low, as this can be directly even operated by the field personnel, engineers or various other field personnels. Then there is certain limitations, that is it is very highly cost, as advanced technology has been used in it, and as well as the time consuming, because the instrumentation handling requires some time. Then prior planning is required, like the members which we do not want to test should be kept isolated from the one which we have to test. Then some certain precautions we have to take in this. Then ultrasonic pulse velocity, as name indicate that the pulse velocity is measured in this test, and from that strength of concrete is determined. Pulse velocity is measured by velocity, as we know that distance upon time, distance will be the length of the specimen which we are measuring, and time required is transferring that pulse from one end to the other end of the other end of that specimen. This could be explained from this image. Here it is shown that see concrete specimen is there, and from one end a transducer, and second end both end transducers are connected, which are connected to the measuring pulse measuring device. So wave is transmitted to transmitting transducer, and the time required to reach at the other end, that is receiving transducer, that is noted. And then this is in this three techniques are used, namely direct, diagonal and surface technique. In this image it is a direct technique which is most effective, which is considered as the most effective. And other technique like surface technique, in this the two transducers are kept on the upper surface of the concrete, which found to be less effective. So direct one is most effective. Main application is it is used to determine the quality of the concrete, as well as various defects present in its and its variability of that strength. And then this technique is even useful in fire damage concrete as well. And expertise required is very low while handling this device, but when we interpret the final results, then expertise is needed to understand that results. Then advantage of this method is it is a it means a large specimens can large specimen strength can be rapidly estimated through this method. From other method requires some time, and quality and uniformity can be determined rapidly. Then certain limitations are there, like it's require proper preparation of the surface which we are going to test. Then it is a time consuming. Most of the time goes in examining the result only. Then skill is required, and various analysis we have to done, like before prior analysis, the moisture we have to consider the moisture content on the surface, or presence of any fault or something on the surface. We all have to uh, priorly estimate this. Then penetration probe test. In penetration probe test, basically I will know that it is only in the name suggests that there will be any probe, and that will get penetrate into the surface which we have to test. In this image it is shown that it is like a gun, and the probe is fired into the concrete surface, and obviously if it is fired, then some damage will be there to the concrete surface, and the amount to which it get penetrates, and from that amount the concrete strength or quality is determined. And more distance it get penetrate or travel, the more will be the strength of the concrete. And main application it is used to determine uniformity, quality, compressive strength of the concrete, and as well as some properties of the mortar. Expertise required is very low, and even the field personnel can execute it. And then the equipment is also easy. Advantages, equipment is also easy to use, as well does not require the prior surface preparation as was required in the earlier test. Then results are not subjected to surface conditions or moisture content, which was subjected in ultrasonic pulse velocity method. And limitation is it slightly damage small area, This is the one limitation mainly, and edge distance is minimum edge distance is required. And gamma radiography, as the name suggests, gamma rays are there which will penetrate into the surface which we have to test, and it will show the exact image where are the cracks present or where are the uncertainties there, some uncertainties there. And as the gamma radiations attenuate when passing through the building, attenuates means its intensity or effect will get decreased when it passed through that building or where it attenuates. Then photographic film records are usually made while performing this test, and these are analyzed. Then main application is quite mainly this technique is used in steel members, examination of the steel members for locating various voids, variation in density, then locating the members and all other things. And this method required trained workers as well as licensed personnel, as gamma rays handling gamma ray equipment is somewhat risky, so license is required for this, as well as trained persons are required. Advantages: it is inexpensive as compared to the x-ray radiography, which is more expensive. So, and in field it can be operated by the expertise. And certain limitations I found is it is sometimes becomes difficult to keep the photographic film records because of some issues. Then some health issues are associated with this technique, so proper operating is required. Then similarly other methods are also there, like thermography, ground penetrating radar, etc. Various methods are there which are used to monitor the structure. Then results of NDT test, I had concluded some points regarding the results. Results 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 we get are not direct. We have to derive it from the some of the properties, like from volume density. We get from that we can derive the workability or compressive strength or different parameters. So the results are complex because this test results are complex, but they give the detailed informations, and because of its complexity, high expertise is required. But a detailed manner results we get from this test. And it is difficult for the engineers to understand these results. So expertise is needed for the engineers to in this field to interpret the results. And this method is becoming more popular among the researchers as well as engineers for its quick evaluation and interpretation of the results. Then limitations of NDT methods are some like trained technicians are needed for this, as it is modern and advanced technologies, radiations hazards like we have seen in gamma rays technology, health issues, high cost of the equipment, as these are modern advanced technology equipment, so cost will be automatically high. Then power source are needed for some methods to operate. Then conclusion, then these methods nowadays are gaining greater acceptance among the field expertise and researchers, as well as NDT methods relies on most of the established correlation, and from that correlation they determine the results. And then regarding NDT methods, I found there is very low awareness which is hindering the scope and importance of this method, and due to lack of understanding most of the engineers avoid to use these methods. Then it is NDT plays an important role in monitoring the RCC structures, and there is more need to make engineers aware, uh, make more capable of handling this method. So this should be increased in college curriculum, as well as expertise or uh, expertise should be given to be taken in this method, so that properly it can be used at the field. Thank you.